Hey, welcome back everyone to the Black Brain Trust. This is episode 197, Blockchain Talk, Black Tech Talk. So this is the final installment of the blockchain discussion that was had last week. Please hit the like button as you come in. Share the video if possible. Just as a side note, I'm still offering free mentorship. I can look at your resume. I can do your resume over. Um, I can give you some guidance on how to get into IT or re-navigate your way through IT and try to do a career shift. So I'm offering those consultations. So Johnny A. Jones, what's going on? He says, "Are we in a bull market?" This is the wrong hangout to talk about a bull market. This is Black Tech Talk. So we want to talk about finance and come back, for economics and cryptos. Thursday nights and Friday nights. So we had that discussion last night. What's going on? Keep it techie. I'm just waiting for Lionel to come along. This is his hangout, so we'll see how this works. While we wait for him, I'll kind of go over a couple of things. Basically, blockchain is all the talk right now. So we had this talk probably about 6 months ago. I think back in October. It's probably the last time we had this discussion. So figure we can go over it again just for spring of 2019. Things change. Things definitely change. So uh, coming back to the table, we'll just try to revise things, put people back on track to what we were going over before. Also, it's just good to talk about tech. I don't know about the rest of you guys. I like talking about tech. So Raining Woman, how are you doing?
Are
Good
you,
evening to you, my sapiosexual friend.
hello, hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on, Lionel? Put some volume on your mic.
Okay, well, what's wrong with this thing lately? Um, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, it's clear now.
Yeah,
Okay, all right. Hello, hello. How you all? Little, excuse. How you all doing tonight? How you doing today, Mike?
I'm good. Yourself?
I am well. All right, let's get into this. All right, tonight is our blockchain hangout. We'll be taking a deep dive into what blockchain is, the current going ons, and what in the blockchain world, how you can get certified and what courses and certifications you can take to get certified in blockchain and the distributed ledger technology. And we're going to look into some jobs, actually, job salaries, job positions, and salaries that the blockchain world is offering and the positions they're offering. And excuse me, what salaries, what kind of salaries you can expect once you are in that job position. So let's get into it. First, we're going to start off by going over what blockchain is. And understand that there's a misconception and a haze on what blockchain is. So I'm going to explain what blockchain is in a nutshell and the difference between blockchain and distributed ledger technology. In a nutshell, blockchain is a growing list of records called blocks. By design, a blockchain is resistant to modification of that data. It is an open, distributed ledger that can record transactions between two parties efficiently and in a verifiable and permanent way. A blockchain is typically managed by a peer to peer network collectively adhering to a protocol for internode communication and validating new blocks, which requires consensus of the network majority. Current popular consensus protocols include, but are not limited to, POW or proof of work, POS or proof of stake, and DBFT or delegated Byzantine fault tolerance. Once recorded, the data in any given block cannot be altered retroactively without alteration of all subsequent blocks. Blocks in a blockchain are called blocks of data. Any kind of data can be recorded on a blockchain within any block on that same block. Examples of things that can be recorded in these blocks are financial transactions, voting, voting records and results, land titles, medical records, healthcare, and even opening notes to a song. Each block contains a cryptographic hash of the previous block, which is a timestamp. All of the blocks in a blockchain are linked together using cryptography. This linkage gives the blockchain its immutability, its security. If someone tries to go back and change any historical data in any blocks, that link will be broken and it will be very obvious and easily detectable. The difference between a blockchain and a distributed ledger or DLT, distributed ledger technology, is born out of blockchain. But the only key difference between blockchain and DLT is the absence of a consensus mechanism with DLT. And as I explained in the definition of blockchain, the current popular consensus methods are POW or proof of work, POS or proof of stake, and DBFT or designated Byzantine fault tolerance. Look at the chat to see if anyone had any questions on or any confusion on those two definitions. All right. So we're going to continue by going over the current state of blockchain. Let me look up a few articles here, and then I'm going to share my screen. So we're going to go over a few articles first to give you all a good going on what's going on in the blockchain community right now. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay. All right. The first topic, the first article we're going to go over comes from computerworld.com. Title: Salesforce exec. Some clients just want blockchain for one purpose. Blockchain backers need to stop talking up the technology intricacies and start detailing real world business use cases, says Salesforce Adam Kaplan. All right, so get rid of this right here. Cambridge, Massachusetts. More and more Salesforce clients are experimenting with blockchain technology, but in most cases they wind up stuck in a proof of concept, unable to move into production, according to Salesforce Senior Vice President of Emerging Technology, Adam Kaplan. We haven't seen a lot of successful win, Kaplan said during a talk on blockchain's role in the enterprise at MIT Technology Review's Business of Blockchain conference here last week. Part of the reason is talent. 55% is find the challenge is finding the right skilled workers, but also relevant is the technology is hard to work with. For that complexity can get in the way, he said. For example, Kaplan commonly finds clients flummoxed when he tries to explain what the term consensus means in the context of blockchain. If anyone has figured out how to do that, please let me know, he said. The best analogy Kaplan's found is comparing blockchain's consensus mechanism to the different to the difference between an NBA basketball game and a pickup game. In an NBA basketball game, you have a referee who validates points scored and penalties made. In a pickup game, the players perform the same task with equal, even better accuracy, including contesting penalties. The NBA game represents a centrally administered database, while a pickup game represents users of a blockchain verifying each transaction placed on the electronic ledger. For many Salesforce customers now exploring blockchain, the technology's more sophisticated attributes, its distributed architecture, the ability to create consortiums among business partners, and smart contract applications, hold far less appeal than its simple ability to create an immutable audit trail. Blockchain is essentially a write once, append many database that can be shared among any number of users. I'd like to repeat that. Blockchain is essentially a write once, append. So, like I said in the definition of a blockchain, you can only write it and you can't go back and retroactively change anything. You can only append to it. The database can be permissioned or centrally administered to control who can join, but every user of the blockchain can also see the same information at the same time. Over the past year, even during the past 6 months, Kaplan said the conversations he's been having with clients have changed dramatically. As the hype phase of blockchain is cooled, customers have begun asking what business value it can bring and what problems it can solve. I think there has been a sea change, he said. Now it's about let's get real. Are we going to go live? Just give me an audit trail. When audit trails can be accomplished with other technologies, the blockchain term, Kaplan said, carries a certain mystique that embodies trust. The blockchain word means a lot, Kaplan said. Whether it's for submitting data to the FDA, some financial use case, or just some internal audit, or sharing data with some law firm partners. That audit trail based in blockchain is really powerful, he said. Salesforce clients like the idea they can get their feet wet with a simple business use case without going down a technological complex rabbit hole. We have some customers who say, that's all I need. I don't care about decentralization. Let me start here. Let me get in the game here. Let me learn about blockchain. Let's start here. One Salesforce customer experiments with blockchain to authenticate used car parts because they want to increase the value of their vehicles and make sure the parts they're using are authentic, not cheap knockoffs that could fail. Blockchain can create an unchangeable supply chain trail from parts manufacturers to retail. They don't need a million partners or a ton of decentralization, Kaplan said. Several of Salesforce's clients have created proof of concept to demonstrate blockchain's ability to create a supply chain that ensures ethical sourcing of materials and anti-counterfeiting capabilities. For example, a challenge in the cotton industry is proving it doesn't come from slave labor in places like Uzbekistan. One retailer of high-end cotton clothing is exploring how to prove its Uzbeki cotton is sourced from the right places by tracking it from field to maker. They're not sure what value it has at the end of the day. There's probably some PR value here. There's probably some value around making employees feel good about where they're sourcing their cotton, Kaplan said. There's also a question about whether consumers would pay more for it. They don't know yet, but they feel like they're in an interesting sweet spot because they sell high margin items. At the time, at the same time, enterprises are testing blockchain as a supply chain validator. They're recognizing technology can only do so much. One concept they're struggling to unravel is proof versus truth, or whether a product on a supply chain is actually what it claimed to be. For example, while a blockchain ledger creates a transparent chain of transactions, each immutable and connected to the last, it doesn't ensure someone at the manufacturer or along the supply chain hasn't physically tampered with the goods. It simply ensures the electronic handshake has taken place between each entity along the supply route. Kaplan pointed to an enterprise customer in the liquor business who hopes to thwart product counterfeiting, which is prevalent in some regions. The company found that even if it spends money on the assembly line to put high quality QR codes on bottle labels, or so retailers and customers can scan for product provenance, that doesn't necessarily validate the product because a label or the contents can be replaced. All of our clients who are thinking about blockchain, who are not digital companies, are really struggling with this concept, Kaplan said. Skip to this one. Using blockchain for business collaboration. Others see the distributed ledger technology, or DLT, as a key to open collaboration with business partners, even those with opposing goals. For example, some of the Salesforce's oil industry clients have been testing blockchain ability to create a network over which performance-based contracts can be carried out. Each player in the oil extraction and refining process has a different role. One company supplies the equipment for drilling, another supplies the employees, while a third company handles the sale of the oil. The company that sells the oil wants to do so as fast as possible, but the companies that supply the oil rigs or employees have an incentive to move slowly. Because the longer equipment because the longer equipment and workers are on site, the more money they make. So the company that sells the oil is looking at performance-based contracts on blockchain to align incentives through smart contracts, where bonuses can be paid based on speed, Kaplan said. One mistake clients say those marketing blockchain as a business solution make is focusing on the technology rather than on how it can solve business problems or grow revenue. In attempting to assist clients with blockchain deployments, one thing Salesforce often does is avoid actually saying the word blockchain too much. We get stuck in this lingo, this verbiage with deep technical guys, and you kind of get away from the business problem, Kaplan said. So we're trying to say, let's keep back and let's really think about what blockchain means for a business perspective. What problems are we really trying to solve? And when to use blockchain. Blockchain backers need to keep it simple when explaining what the technology can offer, Kaplan said. For example, it should be considered when it involves multiple external partners, whose transactions you want visible, and your current process doesn't allow for that. Many of Salesforce's clients have created innovation teams, but they get so confused on the technology that the business side is often left out of the process. The result, innovation teams with very smart people that don't necessarily have a problem to solve. It's the classic case of technology taking looking for a use case, looking for a problem, Kaplan explained. So we are really trying to hone in on whether the current process isn't working, what problems we are really trying to solve. Is this a real use case or is this an experiment we're playing with here? All right, I understand this was a long article, but it did point out a few things. One glaring thing that it pointed out, at least to me, was that even though a lot of these companies are trying to use blockchain, the employees that they have on hand that are hired to or are tagged to learn about blockchain don't necessarily know what it is or doesn't have a firm grasp of it. Also, he points out that even though blockchain is a new technology, it is looking for use cases to settle in. So that what that says is there's still a need for blockchain developers and architects and so forth. And I forgot the next thing I was going to say, but also the article points out that there's a few industries in which you would not necessarily think that blockchain can be applied to, but as the technology finds its use cases, you'll begin to see a larger field in which the large different areas it can be applied to. You have any comments on that one, Mike?
No, no, I think that's kind of right in line with. I don't have any major comments, but I'm just basically observing. Definitely decentralized applications and these is a part of the blockchain 3.0. So
Okay. All right. All right. Let's get to our next topic. What FinCEN's new guidelines mean for dApps or decentralized applications, Lightning Network, and privacy coins. If there is one thing that the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, or FinCEN, has highlighted with its issuance of its new virtual currency interpretive guidance, is that the move has reinforced what responsible thought leaders and experts in the industry has been saying for a while. That it's time for Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency ecosystem to grow up and respect laws. Thursday, the U.S. regulatory agency issued a new guidance that addresses whether certain cryptocurrency related businesses need to be regulated as money service businesses or MSB and comply with the Bank Secrecy Act or BSA and other relevant laws in the country. The new interpretive guidance is a consolidation of FinCEN's current regulations as well as related administrative guidance issued since 2011 involving convertible virtual currencies. The guidance specifically outlines how decentralized applications or dApps defined by FinCEN as software programs that operate on a peer-to-peer network of computers running on a blockchain platform may qualify as a money transmitter, especially if they accept and transmit value, regardless of whether they operate for profit, like a virtual currency ATM, vending machine, or a physical kiosk. Accordingly, when dApps perform money transmission, the definition of money transmitter will apply to the dApp, the owner operators of the dApp, or both, according to FinCEN. This means these types of dApp services will have to secure a license in the state or states they are currently operating in, as well as federal anti-money laundering and know your customer procedures. FinCEN guidance likely to halt Lightning Network. Like in the case of dApps, FinCEN's new guidance will also make it even more challenging for the Lightning Network on Bitcoin Core (BTC) to grow. As founding president of the Bitcoin Association, Jimmy Nguyen explains, Lightning Network nodes are likely to fall within FinCEN's broad interpretation of money transmitters, which means they would be required to register a MSB as MSBs and comply with AML or anti-money laundering regulations. According to Nguyen, a former 21 plus year lawyer in the United States focused on technology, I quote, FinCEN reinforces the definition of money transmission services. It's very broad and means the transmission of virtual currency from one person to another triggers MSB requirements. FinCEN also confirms that virtual currency payment processors, intermediaries between traditional merchants and customers who want to pay for goods and services with virtual currency, fall within the definition of money transmitters. Given how broad these definitions are, I expect FinCEN's guidance will further inhibit growth of the Lightning Network beyond traditional payment processors who already hold MSB licenses. Not surprisingly, even privacy-centric coins like Zcash, Verge, and Monero cannot escape MSB and AML laws. Creators and sellers of anonymity-enhanced coins, along with providers of anonymizing services like coin mixers or tumblers, are considered money transmitters in the U.S. A money transmitter can't A money transmitter that operates in anonymity enhanced CVCs for its own account or for the accounts of others, regardless of the frequency, is subject to the same regulatory obligations as when operating in currency, funds, or non anonymized CVCs, convertible virtual currencies. In other words, a money transmitter cannot avoid its regulatory obligations because it chooses to provide money transmission services using anonymity enhanced CVC, according to FinCEN. This isn't surprising, according to Nguyen, given that FinCEN is a bureau of the U.S. Treasury Department that focuses on combating money laundering and terrorism financing, along with other financial crimes. As such, Nguyen says the agency will not let privacy coin advocates avoid compliance with laws designed to stop financial crimes. Not everyone is an MSB. FinCEN recognized that non-custodial wallets are not money transmitters. However, custodial wallets can trigger MSB requirements for the host. All crypto exchanges are custodial, which means they are always MSBs, even if operators like Binance focus only on crypto. Fundraising via ICOs is also likely not engaging in money transmittal, but token offerings can still be regulated by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, if they offer securities. The U.S. agency has yet to provide an answer for every situation that takes place in the crypto market, but the new guidance issued is a step in the right direction toward providing clarity on whether common virtual currency business models will trigger MSB and AML laws in the country, as the Nguyen summarizes, and I quote, FinCEN's new guidance on virtual currencies reinforces what we've been saying for a while. It's time for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency world to grow up. This means businesses operating in the space need to live in the real world and comply with real world laws, including those governing money services businesses, money transmitters, and anti money laundering, and other Bank Secrecy Act requirements. Unlike other crypto anarchist camps in the Bitcoin world, Bitcoin SV is building a regulatory, wow, really, as Bitcoin Satoshi's vision is building a regulatory friendly ecosystem, and we are advising on a responsible legislation around the world, while, while there remains room for more improvement and clarification. FinCEN's guidance is a good step to actually help Bitcoin grow by inhibiting its usage or illegal activity, and thus making financial institutions and customers and consumers more comfortable using Bitcoin. All right. That was a pretty long article, but basically the gist of it is this. FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. Well, I'll start by saying this. Cryptos and Bitcoin also is touted where you can send money across borders without the use of a bank. You don't need a bank to send money to other people. It's a peer-to-peer network. So with that, you don't need to pay the extra fees to send money across to Canada, Singapore, Japan, Germany, England, or even within the United States from state to state. You don't need a money transmission service to do that. You can just send that money to another person, wherever that person may be, via your wallet. But what FinCEN is saying that is crypto's ability to do that requires them to be labeled as a money transmitter. So because they can be labeled as a money transmitter, they need to abide by certain rules. And one of those rules is know your customer rules. Uh, and know your customer, KYC and AML, anti-money laundering. Because they need to abide by those rules, that means what they're saying is if they don't abide by those rules, then they may be financing. They're quick to go to, well, they're financing terrorists or people who start wars, buy arms, things like that. They're quick to go to the bad things because they are operating outside of the laws, the AML, KYC laws. If you don't know what Bitcoin Lightning Network is, Bitcoin Lightning Network is they call a layer two solution in which small transactions such as buying a cup of coffee, donuts, buying smaller transactions up to a certain amount can be made off Bitcoin's actual blockchain. That means that in January, there was a Twitter user named HODLNOT. He started the Bitcoin Lightning Torch. What that mean was he started a torch to what not actual torch, this to bring awareness to Bitcoin Lightning Network. So he said, well, I want to send some Satoshis or a few pennies to someone else. So if he was in America, he sent someone a few Satoshis, which are denominations of Bitcoin in Japan. Then that person sent money to Germany. Then that person sent money to China, well, not China, UK, and so forth. So this torch, they were passing the torch all throughout America, not America, but the world. That means that they were transmitting money throughout the world. They were transmitting funds. So that's the gist of what this article is trying to say is they're trying to clamp down on that because they think that these people may fund terrorists and so forth. You got any comments on that, Mike?
This is also established to reduce capital flight. So a lot of people could put their money into a crypto and then take it out of the country to avoid any sort of sanctions, anything to that nature. Once they get the money to the other side, then they can just pull their cryptos out and kind of live off of that. So kind
Right,
of
right,
renounce their citizenship without paying taxes.
right. Since they don't have to tell the bank that, hey, I'm moving to such and such, I want to transfer my money to that local bank, or just keep their money in an American bank and just transfer funds from that bank to another bank. Now that bank that doesn't have to know, they can just transfer money through wallets, and that's it. All right, let's go to our next article. Just seeing here, say Bitcoin is at $7,070. All right, let's get to our next article. This one comes from CoinDesk.com. Title: JP Morgan quietly reboots the blockchain behind its JPM coin cryptocurrency. So we've been hearing a lot in the past months about the JPM coin. So they did issue a cryptocurrency, but it was an in-house cryptocurrency, and now they are rebooting the blockchain behind their JPM coin. All right, the takeaway: JP Morgan's technology team spread across three continents have been busy updating the bank's Quorum blockchain platform over the past 6 months, replacing key parts of its privacy enhancing components. Like JP Morgan's recently announced partnership with Microsoft Azure, the updates were meant to make Quorum usable by a larger universal firms. According to JP Morgan Quorum lead Ali Harris, the Microsoft partnership is also a potential stepping stone to a long contemplated spin-out of the open source software project. Harris also talked about some possible applications of the bank's prototype cryptocurrency, JPM Coin, in an interview with CoinDesk. JP Morgan Chase has quietly replaced the guts of its blockchain. Over the last 6 months, technologists spread across London, Singapore, and the US have rebooted Quorum, the megabank's private version of the Ethereum blockchain, said Ali Harris, JPM's head of Quorum and cryptocurrency asset strategy. Specifically, the team replaced Constellation, Quorum's privacy layer, within written in the Haskell computer language, wow, with Tessera, which has a similar design, but is built in Java to make it easier for businesses to use and deploy. This nitty-gritty effort was happening behind the scenes while the bank was out grabbing headlines with JPM Coin. But the work on Quorum's privacy architecture is arguably as important as the internal prototype of a private cryptocurrency for clients. Four, like JP Morgan's partnership with the Microsoft Azure blockchain service announced last week, the reboot was designed to make Quorum usable by larger universal firms. And that broadening of the platform's appeal in turn is helping to get Quorum ready for a possible life beyond the bank, which has been considered a spinoff of the project since early 2018. Refer, Referring specifically to the Microsoft tie-up, Harris told CoinDesk, quote, I would think of this as a stepping stone to a potential spin-out, end quote. So far in my reading, I'm getting that they're rebooting the blockchain in order to make JPM coin because the underlying technology of a cryptocurrency is blockchain. So they're rebooting the blockchain in order to make their cryptocurrency better to be used by obviously more firms and to be used outside of JP Morgan Chase also. It's open source software available on GitHub and maintained by JP Morgan on behalf of everyone using Quorum. Harris went on to explain, the more users of Quorum, the better it is for everyone because we can help with standardization and creating even more robust tech suite. Heavy lifting. Stepping back, Quorum was launched in early 2017, whereby the tech created an instant fusion of excitement by officially connecting the bank with Ethereum, albeit a private version, and also adding an ambitious dose of blockchain privacy via zero knowledge proofs or ZKP. That's not correct. Zero knowledge proofs, what they call ZK snarks, is a privacy layer in which can I say it's about confusing? I can prove to Mike that I have something without actually showing him. So that's what ZK proofs or ZK snarks is. Following blockchain program lead Amber Baldit's departure, the bank in April 2018, there was a brief period when Quorum's future looked uncertain. A victim of its own success in some degree, questions arose over how the bank was going to carry out its new and unplanned role as a maintainer of a growing open source project running nascent technology. While Harris and two other sources at JP Morgan said the bank continues to mull a spin-out, it seems these concerns are now being addressed regardless. In addition to all the go-to-market support, which is about getting new customers using Quorum, that JP Morgan and Microsoft are working on together. Harris said the two firm engineers are now collaborating, streamlining node development deployment, and abstract away raw complexity. This is being done so that companies like JP Morgan can actually focus on the business applications and unlocking value from the technology, whereas Corn, powered by Microsoft, will be dealing with a lot of heavy lifting, he said. Further to that end, Harris said that in the same way a career can currently pick and choose which consensus mechanism to deploy with Quorum, Istanbul, RAF, etc. An easy to apply modular menu of privacy solutions will be available. As such, JP Morgan is looking at a wide range of privacy tech with different use cases in mind, noted Harris. Mentioning the likes of ZKP, I don't think this person knows what ZK, okay, ZKP specialist, UK-based Aztec, which uses a different efficient variety of zero knowledge proofs called range proofs and has a focus on bridging the gap between public and private blockchains. So, without reading more, because I feel that I may lose the audience, what what they're doing right now is scroll to the top. JP Morgan Chase partnered with Microsoft Azure Blockchain Service. We went over last week of how Microsoft is expanding its BaaS or blockchain as a service. And what they're doing is creating it where their what would you call this? Their code editor. Sorry, if I just open it up. Their code editor, what they're going to do in their code editor is update it to the point where people can write code in their code editor and that will allow them entry to, well, they will allow their code to be adopted by Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is their cloud computing platform. So what it seems like what JP Morgan Chase did was partner with Microsoft in order to upgrade and make their Corn blockchain robust so they can now spin off JP Morgan Coin or JP Coin. Because currently, right now, what JP Coin is if you want JP Morgan Chase and you make a transaction, you sell out of one thing and sell it to another. Behind the scenes, what's being done is once you sell out of one position, you then are now are your monies are in JP Morgan coin. Then when you make another transaction, get into another position, it then cashes out a JP Morgan coin into that new position. That happens behind the scenes. That happens without you knowing, and it's split second. That's what JP Morgan coin is. What they're trying to do is take take JP Morgan coin and make it more robust, make it where it can do a lot more, be used by multiple firms because right now it can only be used by JP Morgan Chase. Now more firms can use it and it can be used outside of JP Morgan Chase. And that is what the gist of this article was about. He said a lot about that. And just that quick, Bitcoin is at $7,099. Any comments on this one, Mike? Look at the chat here.
No comments from me.
Okay. All right. The last article on this section right here for tonight. This one comes from worldoil.com. This really hits home on what blockchain can do. Data Gumbo secured 6 million in Series A funding from venture arms of leading international oil and gas companies. Hu- yeah, this is the one. Houston, Data Gumbo Corporation, a Houston-based technology company that has developed a blockchain as a service or BaaS platform to streamline smart contract management for industrial customers, has announced the completion of a $6 million Series A equity funding round co-led by Saudi Aramco Energy Ventures, the venture subsidiary of Saudi Aramco, and Equinor Technology Ventures, the venture subsidiary of Equinor, Norway's leading energy operator. Data Gumbo's new capital will be used to expand the company's commercial blockchain network. In addition to growing the technical, sales, and marketing teams at their Houston headquarters and office in Stavanger, Norway, the Series A round brings Data Gumbo's total funding to 9.3 million. We enabled the first application of blockchain technology in the offshore drilling industry and will continue to break new ground with applications of BaaS, or blockchain as a service, to improve the bottom line of companies of all sizes. Blockchain will have a major impact on the oil and gas industry and all global industries, and we will lead the charge in its broad adoption for sweeping operational improvements, said Andrew Bruce, CEO of Data Gumbo. The partnership with Equinor and Saudi Aramco and their associated supply chains and partnerships will provide the momentum for the Data Gumbo BaaS network to gain critical mass. Data Gumbo was founded by Bruce, a former executive at National Oil Well, Barco, and MH Worth, and serial entrepreneur with 20 years of experience in the software and energy industries. Bruce built Data Gumbo after identifying a multi-million dollar cost saving opportunity to eliminate a sizable inefficiency between an oil supermajor and one of its suppliers. Bruce devised a blockchain solution, spurring the creation of Data Gumbo's vast distributed ledger network to automate contract execution. The overachieving problem that industrial companies, including those in oil and gas, face is that transactions resulting from measurements are interpreted differently by companies, their service providers, and suppliers. Be in weight, speed, height, connection, delivery time, volume, quality controls, or any other number of related contract terms. Each company in the supply chain has different interpretations of the data, and when it comes to payments, filling, and audits, there are significant delays and disputes. That sentence spoke out to me. The supply chain parties currently lose hundreds of millions of dollars in extra expenses and delays each year due to these delays and disputes, and ensuring reconciliation between supply chain parties. Data Gumbo eliminates these differences in interpretation with the power of its BaaS network and smart contract technology, facilitating automated calculation, reconciliation, and payment of invoice line items in near real time with total transparency. Those are the hallmarks of blockchain, as what he just said, driving reconciliation time between supply chain counterparts down to zero, among other benefits, after removing disputes and enabling automated payments. The BaaS network records the result in and records the results in an immutable ledger shared among all parties to the transaction. Benefits include significant cost savings, better reporting, bills paid on time, and clarity and certainty over financial positions for all parties in the supply chain. Customers realize savings of 5 to 10% off the top when Data Gumbos manage contracts from a combination of fewer disputed invoices, fast pay discounts, and performance contracts. Additionally, Data Gumbo offers a subscription model. Wow, they really ranking it in with that. Freeing industry from building and sustaining standalone wow. Additionally, Data Gumbo offers a subscription model freeing industry from building and sustaining standalone in-house blockchain solutions with their inherent lack of interoperability and neutrality. Wow. While we stand in energy, we already have value for both commodity haulage, trucking, and shipping, with plans to parlay our momentum into other global industries. Wherever two or more organizations share a contractual relationship that can be verified with a digital source of data, opportunities abound to realize efficiencies and cost savings utilizing our blockchain network, said Bruce. Investor quotes, well, not as in quotes, but these are what they're saying. Um, Distributed ledger technologies have the potential to bring win-win efficiencies between industrial companies and their suppliers, and Data Gumbo is at the forefront of introducing this innovation, said Daniel Carter, Senior Investment Director, SAEV. While they have started in the energy sector, Data Gumbo's platform has broad industrial application. Man. Over the past 2 years, through our internal and external efforts, we have learned a great deal about how blockchain can create efficiencies and save costs in our operations. We believe now is the time to put that knowledge to work by supporting a promising company in this space and to realize value by implementing their technology, said Ranfred Skipford, Managing Director, Equinor Technology. This was a great article. Wow. So they basically what they're saying is Data Gumbo develop a platform, a blockchain platform, blockchain as a service, or BaaS for short. What they then did was turn to this guy who is the founder of Data Gumbo, founded by Bruce. He then said, "Well, I recognize that Saudi Aramco and Equinor Ventures have a problem in you're losing money with your suppliers. You know, your invoice to each other is not arriving on time. People paying late. It's a lot. It's a lot of money that's falling through the cracks." He recognized that, and he knew the hallmarks of blockchain is continuously updated, and each party has, because you have to remember, blockchain is a ledger. It's a triple entry ledger. The current ledgers accountants use are double entry. Blockchain is a triple entry ledger, and the third entry is a cryptographic signing. So now both parties have an automatic update of that ledger as soon as things happen. And like I said in the description of blockchain, in the blocks on the blockchain, any information can be put in those blocks. This is amazing. So what he did was said, okay, this blockchain can take care of almost all of the things that you're having problems with, stop you from hemorrhaging and leaking money through the cracks. And the article said off the top they experienced a 5% savings. Then, since it's a blockchain as a service, he added a subscription layer to it. So now this is not a one sell, one purchase thing. This is recurring income. Then he said that Data Gumbo's platform has broad industrial applicability. So that's telling me that he's going to carry this BaaS service or blockchain as a service platform to other industrial applications. This is really good. Really good. Any comments on this, Mike?
No.
All right, I think I'm missing one article. Oh, no, I'm not. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears to see how does blockchain impact the market, which and which markets blockchain can impact. Um, the articles I read was pretty clear, and that was based on the definitions of blockchain and distributed ledger technology, and hopefully you that led people to understand what how blockchain can impact a what 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 blockchain is. So now we're going to switch gears to see how blockchain can impact industries. So this first industry we're going to talk about is real estate. This one comes from Bitcoin Insider. Barclays and RBS have reduced the real estate transaction process 4 times. Who benefits? For the first time in 3 years, the Royal Bank of Scotland and Barclays have managed to speed up commercial real estate transactions using blockchain. The first properties record are to be digitized in England and Wales. Recently, Barclays and the Royal Bank of Scotland, or RBS, with the participation of enterprise software company R3, successfully tested a blockchain project that will speed up real estate transactions. Um, for those that have bought property, anything, you know that it's notoriously slow. It's a lot of people that you have to work with. And this is really good information right here. Such a solution can provide transparent and fast operations for the end user, our 3 officials said. Just what I said. So, okay. So, however, is it already possible to talk about a breakthrough in the market? How will the traditional process of real estate transactions and mortgage insurance change? How did banks, skeptical before, change their altitude about blockchain? And what are the risks for private blockchain platforms? Experts answered. Wow, there's a lot of come out that can come out of this. I just thought about Barclays and RBS's solution as a response to market needs. Today, real estate transactions are carried out using paperwork, a complex, slow, and sometimes expensive process. When a person wants to purchase a house, the process encompasses a whole host of different interactions with different businesses and governmental entities that can be uncomfortable and drawn out. John Stretcher, Group Managing Director at Barclays Investment Bank, said, as a rule, about eight parties are involved in a real estate transaction. I apologize for my passion, my inflection of voice, but this is some good information. I hope you all are enjoying this just as much as I am. As a rule, about 8 parties are involved in a real estate transaction, in addition to the buyer and the seller, each of whom must go through the process of exchanging information, including filling in a variety of documents and using different platforms and databases. This can lead to delays in transactions, errors, increased costs, and uncertainties for all parties, according to analysts from the Instant Property Network, or IPN. All right, this got a nice little pretty picture here. Centralized process of a real estate purchase. So first, you're going to start off with the buyer. Okay, the the buyer. Then you're gonna hire a real estate agent. Then you're gonna put money into an escrow account. You also have to pay the insurance company because to get a mortgage, they want to know make sure you have insurance. You got to inspect the house. You got to get a bank loan if you're going to pay a mortgage, and you have to make sure everything is legal. No tax liens on it. Nobody, nobody coming back and saying, "Well, I actually own a house and somebody sold you the house," when they know that somebody else owned it. A decentralized process of a real estate purchase is you have a buyer, then you're going to interact with a blockchain via a smart contract. Come on, stop. A smart contract. So with a smart contract, you and the seller agree. You put money in the escrow, data storage, and validation. The bank then gets hold of the smart contract and insurance company. Well, the smart contract then sends information to the bank, and the bank operates with the smart contract, and insurance company operates with the smart contract. also. So that's I'm actually going to come back to all that to hit home more. As a solution, Barclays and RBS propose a system that allows participants in real estate transactions to conduct transactions directly while maintaining control over their personal data. During the test, which took place over 5 days, real estate transactions were modeled using data in a distributed registry. As a result of the experiment, it turned out that blockchain is able to simplify and optimize the process of buying and selling real estate from more than 3 months to less than 3 weeks. For the record, this is not the first example of speeding up a commercial deal using blockchains. The first real transaction was successfully carried out by Barclays back in September 2016 in less than 4 hours. Wow. Blockchain was used to transfer $100,000 as a payment to ensure an export of a batch of to butter and cheese produced by the Irish dairy company Ornua to Seychelles Trading Company. In comparison, this process usually takes up to 10 working days due to the processing of the necessary documentation. It is reported that IPN, which is the technical partner of the new peer project, is currently engaged in recruiting dozens of private and public companies to participate in the next phase of the project and is planning to release a new version of the platform in December. According to the project participants, the use of blockchain for this process can save the real estate market about 160 billion a year. Dan Salmons, director of mortgage innovations at RBS said, and I quote, "What has made a real difference here is that R3 has brought representatives of all the key parties involved in the process together. So as a result, we can see the potential for a network of this kind to improve transparency and speed for customers and reduce costs and the complexity for all involved. IPN has given us our best view yet of what a future end-to-end journey could look like," end quote. This project is a consortium between the American law firm Squire Patton Boggs, Ashurst, and Clifford Chance, along with the real estate corporation Search Acumen. R3 CEO David Rudder commented, quote, "Not only has it shown that distributed applications work and the benefits are real and substantial, it has also shown that there is huge appetite in the market to evaluate it," end quote. Think, okay, this article does go on and on, but it goes to some other um, uh, benefits that blockchain can do. But I want to point out a few things. R3, the platform that this transaction was used on, they use XRP. They use Ripple. Well, Ripple's XRP. But Ripple's not the coin. XRP is the coin. But they use XRP in their transaction. So the money that was transferred from seller to bank to pay out people, pretty sure they already use XRP to carry that out. It also says that I lost my place. I lost my place. I saw it also said I was trying to point this out, but it also says that okay, during the test phase, it took over 5 days. I might as well just go here. So to go back to this, it said as a rule that 8 people are involved in the real estate transaction. What you'll do is with on a blockchain, you'll get a smart contract. That smart contract will then get information through through a DApp, a through decentralized application from the city in which that real estate is, and this is how I imagine it actually through the city in which. So let's say Chicago. I want to buy some property in Chicago. I will then go through. I would then go to the city of Chicago to see about that property. I would then somehow go through a smart contract that would get that information. So I would say how I want to buy this property. There's like a real estate decentralized application. The real estate DApp would then get information from the city of Chicago records to say, okay, this property doesn't have any liens on it. This property doesn't have any previous owners that have a tie to it other than the person that's selling it, and it'll clear all information. Then I would go ahead to say, hey, okay, I'm gonna to hire a inspector. That inspector would then get paid via that smart. I would put money in the escrow. Then that inspector would then get paid via that smart contract too. Once he's done inspecting it and it passed, then he'll get paid. So everybody that's supposed to be involved in this purchase would then get tied into that smart contract, which will make it more efficient, make sure they do what they need to do, and they get paid upon completion of their job. So this is what I see how this real estate blockchain can help real estate, because they say it tied it not tied it shortened it from what 3 weeks to 5 days, and I'm pretty sure they can. During the test, it took over 5 days, so I'm sure they can get it further down from 5 days. And anyone that purchases a house knows how not excruciating painful, but how irritating it can be. I think that's a good way of saying it. Any comments? All right. Okay, so the next market that blockchain can change is we're talking about the fourth industrial revolution. We always talk about the fourth industrial revolution on this channel. I'm having fun. I hope you all having fun too. And we one of the two of the things that we talk about on the fourth industrial revolution is IoT, or the Internet of Things, and 5G. And a few week week and a half ago, we talked about how 6G and 5G will be coming to together, since 3G and 3G and 4G really piggyback off each other. We speculate that 5G and 6G will piggyback off each other. So will 5G and IoT help blockchain seize the day? The tech industry seems to be in a state of constant flux, bombarded as it is with innovations from left, right, and center. Honestly, with the number of buzzwords and new launches coming my way, I really think it would be easier to keep up with the Kardashians' nonstop drama than the barrage of next big things lined up in the tech space. Given that this space is so insanely overcrowded, standing out is not an easy task. What is harder, however, is to retain the limelight for more than a year or two. Blockchain is one technology that has managed to keep us interested for a while now. But unless it manages to explode into a widely adopted technology soon, it might start fading off. Fortunately, it seems to be getting some help in that regard. Two other technologies that define the coming fourth industrial revolution, or 4IR, 5G and IoT, or Internet of Things, are ready to make waves of their own, and a seamless connection between these three could keep blockchain alive and well. Blockchain is looked at as a enabling tech that allows these other techs to scale. So that's what I'm guessing here. 5G is expected to be introduced in a few countries by 2020. It's already in South Korea, live and thrive. But then a few more years, it is expected to be a ubiquitous as 4G cellular data is today. Well, with these hugely improved wireless connections, the speed of internet usage will definitely get a major boost. However, what is more promising here is 5G technologies will have a much higher capacity than communication technologies of today. It will support the interconnection of many more devices, while also ensuring a lower level of latency. Latency refers to the time elapsed between the point of simulation and the point of response, and a reduction in latency will make almost instantaneous responses a reality in 5G. Basically, this type of technology will allow for greater interconnectivity between a very large number of inexpensive, low capacity, simple devices, casting a much wider net for the internet to speed. Now, how does this technology interact with IoT and blockchain? First, let's have a look at how it can possibly impact the adoption of IoT enabled devices. IoT makes it possible to extend internet services into tangible objects of everyday use, and as it stands today, it may not be too cost effective to extend the facility to smaller objects. And you see a light bulb there. It is not cheap to get your household appliances linked to your 4G or 5 or Wi-Fi, but it still makes some sense to get your expensive electronics connected. When I look at this photo, what this light bulb, it reminds me of the Philips Hue light bulbs. Just to give you all a colorful picture there. On the other hand, it will be thoroughly infeasible to use your current internet module for connecting to a small and expensive light bulb. 5G can change that by introducing cheaper, smaller, cost-effective, and power-saving modules. It can possibly induce you to get the smallest and lightest of your appliances connected to the IoT ecosystem. At this point, you are probably thinking, wait, how does all of this have to do anything? What does all this have to do anything with blockchain? The discussion about connectivity has drawn on for way too long, but where is a connection to what we originally started with? Allow me to explain. If you have been watching the blockchain space like I have for the past few years, you surely know that one of its defining functionalities comes in the form of smart contracts, self executing contracts driven by the code. They act like real life contracts, implementing rules and deadlines, just like the real estate, charging penalties and extracting payments. Yet, there is a crucial distinction. Smart contracts are run by the code and not actual human beings. They collect data from decentralized external third party sources that are called oracles. All of this sounds great until you realize a key loophole in an otherwise smart system. Blockchain technology itself is premised upon being decentralized and trustless. Both these qualities are essential to its smooth functioning. Yet, smart contracts depend on third party, off chain data that is fed into the blockchain by sources that are often decentralized only in theory. To tackle the Oracle problem, it makes a lot of sense to bring IoT enabled devices into the equation. Data collected by machines that are tethered to the internet can prove to be a more trustworthy source than oracles themselves. Given 5G will make IoT much more widespread phen- a much more widespread phenomenon than it is today. It seems fitting that blockchain would be capable of amassing more and more data via 5G powered IoT enabled devices. For a ledger, with ooh, okay, I see where you're going here. For a ledger, which the blockchain is at its very core, information it does not have to worry about trusting is key. Consequently, 5G can potentially help this database stock up on truly decentralized and trustless data via the incorporation of IoT as a link in the chain. The fourth revolution is coming, armed with a dazzling lineup of tech innovations. Yet, to have a truly positive impact, it should have elements in a state of interaction rather than isolation. Cooperation is key in cushioning the impact of this onslaught of automation and increase in digitization, and only a strong support from 5G and IoT will help blockchain claim its throne. So what he's saying here, because blockchain has this ledger, it allows IoT devices okay, so he twisted it. Okay, so he's saying IoT and 5G will allow blockchain to spread, with 5G having it be zero to none latency. Therefore, with that ledger, you're then able to hmm. Hey, Mike, I'm trying to put in the words what I'm trying to say. I think he's not there. I know what I'm trying to say. I want to say it where
What are you
you
saying?
all. Yeah, I'm trying to say what I'm saying. Well, I'm not confusing the people listening. He's saying that 5G and IoT will help blockchain grow. And I understand what he's trying to say with 5G and its connectivity, little to nil latency. With blockchain's ledger, people will get instant up to date connectivity, instant up to date information via 5G. And with IoT, I'm trying to think how to say this where I won't confuse people. With IoT, he said IoT allows everyday tangible items to be connected to the internet. So how I'm seeing what he's trying to say is blockchain will then help IoT devices connect through 5G through blockchain. I hope people understand what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say it in a way I won't confuse you. So with this continues to updated blockchain, 5G will help blockchain's ledger be continuously updated with devices that are being connected via that personal blockchain, a person's personal blockchain, IoT. So that will then allow 5G will then allow blockchain to have IoT devices be continuously connected without little to nil latency. I believe what this what he's trying to say in this article.
So let's take it one one bite at a time, right? So the purpose of 5G is for connectivity, high bandwidth connectivity. IoT is one of those emerging techs that allows devices to have network connectivity that typically would never have had network connectivity.
Hmm.
Those those devices also generate lots of data because they're depending on what their application is. Um, what blockchain is going to allow it to do is to have immutable data be collected and actually generated on the ledger itself. So if you take an IoT device, you connect it to 5G, that's going to have high bandwidth, and then you connect it, and then you put it on the platform as a distributed ledger. What that's going to allow it to do is it's going to actually allow it to build real time data um, generation. So now the IoT device has somewhere to put the data, and it also has a mechanism for transferring it over the network through 5G. In order for blockchain to actually have that sort of scalability and IoT to have that scalability, it has to have a fast connection. If you don't have a very robust connection or a continuous connection, then what happens to the distributed ledger? It stops reading blocks, and therefore it doesn't scale. If it can't
Right.
scale, it's not going to be useful. If the IoT can't write data to the ledger, it's not going to be useful either. So you need all three of these components to work together in tandem.
Right. It's like a perfect convergence of new technology. All right.
Right. Hmm.
All right. Let's get to our next market maker. This one comes in the banking sector. This article comes from Cointelegraph. Okay, article comes from Cointelegraph.com. Direct descendant of Italian banking dynasty Medici to launch blockchain-friendly bank. All right. As direct descendant of an Italian dynasty that ran a banking empire in the 1400s, is launching a new bank focusing on digital-centric commerce and investing. Remember that word, investing. According to a news release published on May 8th. Prince Lorenzo D'Amici, president of the eponymous bank, Medici Bank, said he had been motivated by advancements in blockchain technology to start the new venture, which aims to create seamless digital customer experiences and expand financial opportunity across global markets. He argued that little innovation has come from the banking sector ever since his family. Wow, shots fired. He argued that little innovation has come from the banking sector ever since his family's original institution, the Florence based Banco de Medici, pioneered the use of checks, letters of credit, double entry bookkeeping, and bank branches more than 500 years ago. Wow, I see a lot of connection coming in here. Medici Bank has said it is a fully licensed chartered bank in the United States and headquartered in Puerto Rico. Wow, okay. Its CEO, Ed Boyle, explained that the institution planned to prioritize the need of digital native businesses while trying to eliminate the inefficiencies and friction seen in more established rivals. He added, quote, "We are building Medici Bank from the ground up, not reliant on aged infrastructures nor as an overlay on traditional banks. This is uncommon, especially in the United States where licensed challenger bank options are a few and far between," end quote. The collapse of the original Banco de Medici began in the late 1400s after Edward IV, the King of England, was unable to repay loans. Nonetheless, the Medici dynasty continued to enjoy influence in other realms, with four members of the family serving as pope in the 1500s and early 1600s. Blockchain technology is continuing to be put on the test to the test by the banking sector. Letter of credit transactions, one of the Medici Bank's innovations, were recently simulated on blockchain consortium's R3's blockchain platform in a vast innovation involving more than 50 institutions. Last month, JP Morgan Chase unveiled plans to add new features to its blockchain powered interbank information network, which is used by 220 banks. All right, let's work backwards here, people. Okay, this last paragraph I want to highlight here for people that's reading on the screen right there. Blockchain technologies continue to be put to the test by the banking sector. Letter of credit transactions, one of the Medici's bank's innovations, okay, were recently simulated on blockchain consortium's R3 blockchain platform in a test involving more than 50 banks. Like I said, two articles earlier, R3 Quarters platform uses XRP. So this bank is going to be using XRP in their transactions. All right, to work up from there. What am I doing? Okay, here we go. Right here, it says Medici Bank has said it is a fully licensed chartered bank in the United States and headquartered in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States. I've been reading articles where during a hurricane, God, which one? Harry, 2 years ago, that it devastated the country of the island of Puerto Rico. And they have not recovered fully. But what's been going on is crypto um, entrepreneurs have been going there setting up shop. Investors have been going there for a while because since Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States, you don't have to pay you if you go into another country, you don't have to be you don't have to deal with the the all the extra paperwork is going to another country, with the United States. You're still considered to be in the United States, even though you live in Puerto Rico. But the thing with Puerto Rico is they don't pay. Um, I think it's federal taxes. Yes, they don't pay federal taxes because if they were to become a state, then they would have to pay federal taxes. So they don't have to pay federal taxes, which means that's a huge tax incentive to go to Puerto Rico. So then the Medici Bank is, yes, they're licensed and chartered in the U.S., but they're headquartered in Puerto Rico. That's how they're able to do that. Um, this one right here, this paragraph right here says he argued that little innovation has come from the banking sector ever since his family's original institution. Um, Pioneered checks and letters more than 500 years ago. So the banking institutions have been how it is for 500 years. That tells me that it is prime time for the banking institution to change, and cryptos is here to change. That's what it says to me. And there was another here that I think that was it. So that's another area where blockchain can have an impact on the market is banking. Okay, so yeah, I'll just move on here. Now let's see. Let's look at R3 Quarter. This is R3's website, and this is their story. This is from their about section. Industry-wide collaboration is in our DNA. R3 is an enterprise blockchain software firm working with a broad ecosystem of more than 300 members and partners across multiple industries from both the private and public sectors to develop on Corda, which is their platform, our open source blockchain platform, okay, and Corda Enterprise, a commercial version of our enterprise usage. Our global team of over 190 professionals in 13 countries is supported by over 2,000 technology, financial, and legal experts drawn from our global member base. Our Quarter platform is already being used in industries from financial services to healthcare, shipping, insurance, and more. It records, manages, executes institutions' financial agreements in perfect synchrony with their peers, creating a world of frictionless commerce. Okay, I'm going to read that again because it goes hand in hand with what I just said in the banking. Our Quarter platform is already being used by industries from financial services, and it records, manages, executes institutional financial agreement in perfect synchrony with their peers, creating a world of frictionless commerce. Not only did the Medici Bank using the R3 Quarter platform, but if you remember that oil industry um, is using the R3 platform also. And I think it's this one. No, that's not this one. And right here, so okay, so right here, introducing Quarter Enterprise, blockchain for every business in every industry. Quarter Enterprise is a commercial distribution of Quarter, our open source blockchain platform, specifically optimized to meet the demands of modern day business. Quarter Enterprise is interoperable, which means it can work with different blockchain platforms and compatible with Quarter, and is designed for organizations with exacting requirements around quality of service and the network infrastructure in which they operate. With the choice between enterprise and open source, companies can now select a blockchain platform that fits their unique needs, regardless of their industry, size, and stage of development. So this is what we've been hearing. This is one of the blockchain platforms we've been hearing about is R3 Quarter. Let's get to our next industry that um, blockchain can um, impact. Okay. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain. So what does it all mean? Some of the noise is hype, but some of it points to important forces in the financial services industry. To help you make sense of it, We put together content explaining why a lot of industry observers are paying close attention. Let's start with some quick definitions. Blockchain is a technology that enables the existence of cryptocurrency, among other things. Bitcoin is the name of the best known cryptocurrency, the one for which blockchain technology was invented. A cryptocurrency is a medium of exchange such as the US dollar. But and now I want to point out that this is coming from PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is one of the big four accounting firms in the world. This is PricewaterhouseCoopers, so I can say whatever I want to say, but they're saying it for me. But a cryptocurrency is a medium of exchange, such as the US dollar, but is digital and uses encryption techniques to control the creation of monetary units and to verify the transfer of funds. So it's going to read block. Okay. Blockchain also has potential applications for far beyond Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Blockchain is quite simply a digital decentralized ledger that keeps a record of all transactions that take place across a peer to peer network. The major innovation is that the technology allows market participants to transfer assets across the internet without the need for a centralized third party. From a business perspective, it's helpful to think of blockchain technology as a type of next generation business process and a improvement software. Collaborative technology such as blockchain promises the ability to improve the business processes that occur between companies, radical, radically lowering the cost of trust. For this reason, it may offer significantly higher returns for each investment dollar spent than most traditional internal investments. Financial institutions are exploring how they could also use blockchain technology to upend everything from clearing and selling to insurance. For an overview of cryptocurrencies, start with money. Start with money is no object. I think I'm going to link that paper in the description also. This paper from PricewaterhouseCoopers Financial Services Institute focuses on cryptocurrency. We explain where it came from, how much consumers know about it and use it, excuse me, what it will take for the market to grow, and what the regulators think. We also look at how market participants, such as investors, technology providers, and financial institutions, will be affected. So I just want to really read this to let you know that blockchain is being adopted. Is the word is in a lot of reputable big businesses' mouth. We read about a company that created a blockchain for a service that is partnering with Saudi Aramco, which is the largest company in the world, I believe. We read JP Morgan. Coin is restructuring their blockchain. Microsoft Azure is helping JP Morgan restructure the blockchain with their blockchain services. We have Price Waterhouse Coopers, and what this census right here, even though blockchain and Bitcoin are thought to be one, they are synonymous with each other. They came to the party with each other. Bitcoin is the name of the best known cryptocurrency, the one for which blockchain technology was invented. So if they know about blockchain, you can deduce that they know about Bitcoin. All right, so this X area where blockchain can impact in industry market is supply. This one comes from Freight Waves. No, I should pause to see if anybody have any questions in the chat. Okay, no, all right. People seem like people are liking it, loving it. All right, thank you. I appreciate it. Wow, Dirty Mix says dirty mix. Says the current price of Bitcoin is 7,200. That's pretty going up high. All right, so this one comes from Fright Waves. It says cut melon linked to U.S. salmonella outbreak recalled. Another reason to implement blockchain in the food supply chain. Tiny words here. Okay. According to an Associated Press news brief, an Indianapolis-based food, ooh, it's pretty close to me, an Indianapolis-based food company has issued a recall for pre-cut melon products that are being sold in 16 states after the fruit was linked to a salmonella outbreak. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration, or FDA, said on April 12th that the recall includes cut cantaloupe, honeydew melon, watermelon, and fruit medley products containing melon packaged by Cato Foods LLC. To make matters more confusing, the prepackaged fruit is sold under various brands or labels at some of the largest food retailers in the United States: Kroger, Target, Trader Joe's, Walmart, and Whole Foods. The prepackaged fruit was sent to the states of Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Nebraska, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, West Virginia, and Wisconsin. Officials from the FDA have advised consumers to check the packaging of any cut up fruit that they may have at their homes. The FDA urged that if the fruit was packaged by or distributed by Cato Foods, no matter how else it might be branded, not to eat it. The regulatory agency also advised retailers to remove all remaining packages from the stores. According to authorities, to date, 93 people have been sickened in 9 states, 23 of whom were hospitalized. No deaths have been reported as of this writing. Fright waves have written repeatedly about the potential blockchain to help trace foodborne illnesses. On April 11th, staff writer Vinshu Rajamanikam wrote an article detailing how Albertsons Companies, the second largest grocer in the United States, had joined the IBM Food Trust Network. Even IBM is in the game. The network runs on a blockchain framework and is an attempt to increase transparency and visibility into its supply chain. The members' common interest is to trace food production from farm to the storefronts. The members' common interest is to trace food production from farm to the storefronts. On September 25th, 2018, staff writer Maria Baker wrote about Walmart's announcement to implement blockchain technology in its leafy green supply chain in 2019. Baker also wrote an article on August 2nd, 2018, in which FrightWaves August reported the August 1st announcement that Nestle was partnering with Dole Food Company, Driscoll's, Golden State Food, Kroger, McCormick, McLane Company, Tyson Food, and Unilever to join the Food Trust, which is the IBM Food Trust. So you have a lot of companies that are joining this food trust because of the abilities of blockchain. Providing standards to use in transportation, freight, and the supply chain is the mission of the Blockchain and Transport Alliance. One of BITA's members is Origin Trail, a Slovenia-based company that has a particular expertise in the design of blockchain protocols for the food supply chain. These protocols promise unprecedented visibility into chain of custody as well as optimized recalls. It may be impossible to stop outbreaks of foodborne illnesses. However, using blockchain regulators, food manufacturers slash process retailers, and the public may be able to significantly decrease the harm such outbreaks cause. That was well put. Blockchain will not is not a perfect solution to stop all, but it can significantly reduce it. And even though people may say, well, yeah, the package can be tampered with, it traces, hey, this company packages food, and you can go online through the Slovenia company. I'm guessing here to say, hey, I hear there's a salmonella outbreak. You can go to someone and say, hey, where who packaged my food? On your local news, that your local news will then state that, hey, all foods packaged in this specific time and sent to these specific places. And if you shopped at these places, or if your package contained these numbers or these dates, then you may want to throw that food away instead of throwing a range of food away, because that costs money. If the food is not contaminated, you still have to throw it away. But with blockchain, that cuts down on the un food that's being thrown away, and it specifies what food has the potential to be contaminated by salmonella or anything. Because I'm sure you all heard stories of kale, peanuts, uh, tomatoes, and a lot of other foods being contaminated with salmonella poison. And you have a lot of food that had to be thrown out because they don't know specific which packaging were was contaminated with salmonella poison. So that is the benefits of blockchain in the supply chain industry. And it's good that IBM is doing their trust, their I'm gonna get the name right. The food trust. And we went over stories about Walmart creating their own blockchain also. All right, so these last markets where blockchain can make a difference. I think I clicked on that twice. Oh, actually, no, on cryptocurrencies, obviously, because this is what it's made for. Um, I already read this. There was another one here. Blockchain has potential. No, 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 no. But obviously, cryptocurrencies is where blockchain was made for, Bitcoin more specifically, and it's going to continue to have impact in the cryptocurrency industry. This I was going to read this, but it's starting to become. I think it's hitting home more. I'll read a few lines that I think that points out. This one comes from strategy-business.com, a strategist guide to blockchain, a distributed ledger technology that started with Bitcoin. It's rapidly becoming a crowdsourced system for all types of verification. Could it replace notary republics, manual vote counts? And remember, like I said in the beginning, the information that can be stored on the blocks in the blockchain. One of those things I said was votes and vote recounts and vote um, outcomes. And now they're saying that no republics and the way banks manage transactions. An expensive work of art changes hands. Neither the buyer nor the seller is named publicly, but the change is verified. The provenness of the painting travels with it, and the artwork is automatically insured against theft. A voting mechanism records votes in a frontier country known for the past political corruption. That's a great way of putting it. Though there is no central government repository, each vote is tagged to an individual with no duplication. The individual identities remain anonymous, and the results of the election are disputed. A consortium of banks gain market share by selling trades in real time instead of waiting 3 days for the trade to clear, and underwriting loans in a day instead of waiting 2 weeks, with all minimum risks. The same banks also start to execute same day currency trades at optimal exchange rates. speeding a fraction of the cost required in the past. Spending. All of these transactions are tracked and statistics are kept so that governments are aware of the movement of capital across their borders and actively is monitored for patterns that might indicate money laundering. But the identity of the individual traders or purchasers is untraceable. The name of the technology that could make all this happen is blockchain. Originally, the formal name of the tracking database underlying the digital currency, Bitcoin. The term is now used broadly to refer to any distributed ledger to any distributed electric ledger that uses software algorithms to record transactions, reliability, and anonymity. This technology is also sometimes referred to as distributed ledgers, its more generic name. Cryptocurrencies, the electronic currency that first engendered it, Bitcoin, the most prominent of those cryptocurrencies, and, and decentralized verification, the key differentiating attributes of this type of system. At heart, blockchain is a self sustaining peer to peer database technology for managing and recording transactions with no central bank or a clearinghouse involved. Because blockchain verification is handled through algorithms and consensus among multiple computers, the system is presumed immune to tampering, fraud, and political control. It is designed to protect against domination of the network by a single computer or a group of computers. Participants are relatively anonymous, identified by pseudonyms, and every actually yeah, you can say that. Yeah, pseudonyms, both numbers and letters. And every transaction can be relied upon. Moreover, because every core transaction is processed just once in one shared electronic ledger, blockchain reduces the redundancy and delays that exist in today's banking system. Companies expressed interest in blockchain include HP, Microsoft, IBM, and Intel. In the financial services sector, large firms are forging partnerships with technology focused startups to explore possibilities. For example, R3, a financial technology firm, announced in December 2015 that 25 banks had joined its consortium, which is attempting to develop a common crypto technology based platform. Participants include such influential banks as Citi, Bank of America, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Morgan Stanley, Uni, UniCredit, Societe Generale, Mitsubishi UFG Financial Group, National Australia Bank, and the Royal Bank of Canada. Another early experimenter is NASDAQ, whose CEO, Robert Greefield, introduced NASDAQ Link, a blockchain based digital ledger for transferring shares of privately held companies, also in October 2015. So I'm not going to continue to read this. Let me see. Yeah, because I'm sure I'm hitting home with what I'm saying. I also want to point out that this website that I got this information from is, come on, is strategy business. A lot of this gives a lot of good information to people that are looking for information in the business sector and um, in the business sector, and this is what they're talking about also. So the word blockchain, and like I said, blockchain is very synonymous with cryptos, Bitcoin. When you hear blockchain, you know that they're going to hear cryptos, Bitcoin. So blockchain is on the um, the tongue of a lot of people in the world in the space. So were there any comments? Anything? Do you have any comments on anything, Mike?
No.
Okay. Let me look at the chat to see if anyone had any comments. Thank you all for listening. I hope you all are learning a lot from tonight's show. All right. So now we're gonna switch gears to talk about the roles that are available for blockchain positions. I'm going to share my screen and share some notes that I have. There's three major. Hold on. Excuse me. Okay, there's three major roles that blockchain and the blockchain actors. You have the first one is okay. So a business blockchain solution requires many actors playing a variety of roles to be fully functional. One of the roles is architect. A blockchain architect is the designer of the blockchain solution. For a blockchain solution to be functional, it first needs to exist. And the blockchain architect is the person or group. Remember, the person or group. So the person could be working in a group or alone who designs the blockchain. That's the person. That's the beginning. Then you have the operator. The blockchain operator stores, maintains, and updates the blockchain ledger. Once the blockchain solution is designed and built, an operator can join to create the peer network mentioned previously. The role of the operator is to set up and maintain peers within the network. So those two really have some technical backgrounds to them. Well, actually, all three, but we'll go over where you can get those technical skills and sort of certifications, Lou, in a few minutes. Then the main blockchain actor is the developer. The blockchain developer creates smart contracts to run on the blockchain. Developers design and upload smart contracts to the blockchain to expand its capabilities. So smart contracts do expand the capabilities of a blockchain. In addition to in addition to implementing the smart contracts, you may also have front-end developers who implement applications that access the blockchain. The applications the applications initiate the transactions on the blockchains. Those are the main three blockchain roles that you will find on in blockchain. Hey, how you doing today, Nagon?
Hey, what's going on, man? I just dropped in for a minute to say what's up, fellas. How you
Oh,
guys doing?
good, 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 good. All right. So with that said, we're gonna now go into which certifications or certificates and program languages needed are that you need for blockchain. I will say the most prominent, the most prominent language that you need to if you want to be a developer or programmer on blockchain is Python. But also blockchains are programmed, in C Sharp, in Java, JavaScript, and Node.js. Need some water here. So those are the five main coding languages that blockchain is um, developed in. Excuse me, I need some drink of water here.
Is it also developed in C plus plus or in or in MSC? I'm just wondering about that as well.
Baseline coding is going to be dependent upon what kind of blockchain you're referring
Mm-hmm.
to. So some of it is developed in Java, some of it is developed in Python, some of it is
Right,
developed
Python's
in
good.
C++. So
Right.
there's a variety of languages that gets used for different blockchains. So JavaScript can even be used for developing a blockchain.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Well, yeah. Well, the blockchain would also would have to take a look at it. It would have a GUI. It would have a GUI user interface, so GUI. So basically, Java would have a it would have you would have a Java front end. We're talking about more front end and back end development also on that as well.
Full stack.
Full stack. Okay,
It's a full
got it.
stack. You probably wouldn't see a GUI per se. You will probably see more of a command line interface.
A command line. Gotcha. Gotcha.
All right.
Mm.
These certifications are going to split up between blockchain and distributed ledger. I'm going to talk about the blockchain certifications first, and then we're going to go into the distributed ledger certifications. All right, so I'm going to start with edX. I went through this. I did a course on this course. It is harness the power of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. You know what? I need to do this. I'm in dark mode. Okay. Harness the power of cryptocurrency and blockchains. And this is from Berkeley, University of California. It's a professional certificate in blockchain fundamentals. Um, it's a good course. I went through it myself. They really go through the history of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. To do the program overview, it says developed by blockchain in Berkeley and faculty from UC Berkeley's premier computer science department, the Blockchain Fundamentals Professional Certificate is a comprehensive survey of core topics in cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin and blockchain technology. This program will help you develop the critical skills needed to future proof your career. Now, I will say this there are some concepts, and please don't be scared. There are some concepts that may go over your head. What I did was they're in video format, like they're talking to you, and I replayed the video once, twice, maybe three times, and I also went on YouTube for information for people to talk about the topics in another way that I would catch on, and that hurt, not hurt, but that helped a lot. Um, these other instructors here, but the course is about 2 or 3 months. If you do, I think it's an hour and a half a day. Uh, would say do it in the morning because once you get into that, excuse me, once you get into that rhythm, then it really helps. This certificate, it was right. No, it was only three. It's right here. The job outlook. These are some of the jobs that th- this is like a job outlook for knowing this information. Blockchain related jobs are the second fastest growing in today's labor market, currently with 14 job openings for every one blockchain developer. Their source is TechCrunch. Um, excuse me. According to Forbes, the average salary of a blockchain engineer in Silicon Valley is 158,000. Programmers who have experience in Solidity, which is the language for smart contracts, is in short supply and high demand. That can change because I was there's another language that smart contracts is starting to get programmed in. It's called Viper also. And this program costs $178. We like to joke it's less than the price of Jordan, and it actually is less than the price of Jordans for something that you can have and put in your LinkedIn. They once you finish the course, they'll give you a cryptographic signature that you can put in your LinkedIn profile. And when people look at your LinkedIn profile, they can actually click on that cryptographic signature, and it'll take you to edX site that shows your certificate. So I really starting out, this is a good place to start out. Next is doing this. Well, I'm not really doing specifically this, but it's the blockchain developer on Udacity. To get to this point, you have to go through some other classes, such as coding. What I'm doing right now, I am doing coding. So I will show you Oh, I clicked on the wrong thing. But I'm doing the coding right now. I'm doing the Python. Okay, here it goes. Actually, I did click on the right thing. I'm doing the introduction of programming, the Python. It takes you through HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But Udacity also offers ways to work your way up to their blockchain developer. If you want to go that way, this Udacity is one way to go. All of these links is down in the description. But then there's no buts. You can go through. You can be a front end developer, back end developer, and under advanced specializations, you have what's my mouse? Okay, blockchain developer, which is what I clicked on in the beginning. This once you get here is 4 months, 10 hours a week. You see some of the blockchain demand is booming, and the market is expected to grow over 60% per year. Okay, I'll do this. And some of their hiring partners they talk about. What you will learn as a blockchain developer, learn the fundamentals of the blockchain platform, create your own private blockchain, and secure a digital asset using blockchain identity, explore the Ethereum platform, and use Solidity, which is the language in which smart contracts are um, written in to develop your own decentralized app. The price for this one, a lot of the prices for these classes are actually in a good range. This one is $3.99 per month or $14.36 for it's I think it's 8 months altogether. Or 8 months. I want to say it's 8 months altogether. I think it's 2 parts to this program actually.
Hey, I just want to ask a quick question. I'm about to get off here in a minute, but I just want to ask a question. With any RDBMS, with any relational database management system, could blockchain be developed, let's say in Oracle?
Oracle
Mike,
Oracle has their own blockchain already.
they have their own blockchain, they have their own specific blockchain. Huh?
Yeah,
Because here's go ahead.
by design, blockchain is a relational database system.
Is it? Yes, yeah, that's why I said RDBMS. I said this is
Mhm.
relational database management system. But I was wondering what Oracle specific, because I know Oracle and the latest releases have been, Oracle Financials and all that it's a general ledger system. So I was just wondering, could this be specifically written for on a proprietary basis, off of Oracle? But you're saying Oracle has its own blockchain, is what you're saying?
Yeah, Oracle has their own blockchain. Only problem is that Oracle has a lot of politicization behind their blockchain, so it doesn't get a whole lot of adoption unless you're already an Oracle customer, and most Oracle customers are trying to get off Oracle to go to SAP.
So, okay, SAP. Yep. I know SAP
Yep.
actually fairly well. So that would be what SAP would. Well, I know PeopleSoft is a very specific type of deal, but PeopleSoft wouldn't be involved in this as well, would it? Well, would you have any idea on that?
No, PeopleSoft would probably be more on the on the middleware side of the application tier.
Okay.
Because blockchain is a distributed ledger system. It's
Right.
mostly just a floating database.
Right.
Um, the
Which PeopleSoft.
the PeopleSoft will be for authentication purposes and
Okay.
identity access management.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. It clears up a few things. Thanks, Mike.
Mhm.
Yeah. I see Christian wants to know more about my classes. So in the Udacity learning the code is 4 months. Like I said, they really taught to you from a zero knowledge, started a zero knowledge perspective, and then they take you through why the code is structured the way it is. They tell you why you see certain things in code, why it is the way it is. They take you from HTML to CSS. They ask you to create something in those two, a project in those two languages. Then after that, you go into Python. Python is the most longest. Well, it's the longest. They teach you the concepts, where to go to get more information. They really hit home that you don't have to be perfect coming out of this class. One of the people that teach the class, he said he's been in the program for about 20 years, and he continues to make simple mistakes. The code, you're going to make simple syntax mistakes. So he really hits home that yes, you will learn the why it is the syntax of everything, but just by typing code, you're just gonna make little syntax errors that you'll learn that it comes with nature, but you will still learn Python. And then the last part of it is the intro to JavaScript. So I really do um, recommend this. And the class is here are the stars. You get a 4.4, 4.6 stars, and the class is 399. So and this, yeah, 399. I pay a little more than that. Okay, this is a new payment plan that they rolled out. So if you plan to study part-time, prepay for more months and save, switch to monthly paying if you need more time afterwards. If you plan to devote more time to study per week, get maximum flexibility to complete your program sooner. So it's $399 per month for 4 months. Okay. So the next certification is from Blockchain Council. This is the certified blockchain expert. This is the version 2 of it. This certification is $129. I suspect in the future these may go up more in price. This is a lifetime duration. Training duration is 6 hours. It's self-paced. It's online. The It says a certified blockchain expert is a person that is a professional who understands blockchain technology profoundly and can build blockchain based applications for businesses. CBE, or blockchain certified blockchain expert, is exhaustive training, an exam based program aiming to impart in depth practical knowledge in blockchain technology. As demand for blockchain professionals is soaring, this certification will prove to be your competitive advantage, giving enterprises confidence and in the quick hire. Excuse me. And then it goes to certification benefits. Prove your blockchain skills and understanding. Gain an in-depth understanding of blockchain and its implementation. Implement your skills in any blockchain application. Build your own blockchain enterprise with acquired knowledge. What you'll get is Blockchain Council certification, lifetime access to the course content, lifetime, which is great, 24/7 support for all your queries, hands-on industry project experience. Um, these are top career facts. This is the pie. The blue is business development. The salmon color is engineering, information technology, operations, and sales. What does a blockchain expert do? Works closely with product teams to design and build blockchain based applications for enterprises and businesses. The growth curve ahead: blockchain architect, blockchain project managers, blockchain consultant. And the domains are retail, e commerce, banks, telecom, FMCG, I forgot what that stands for, manufacturing, and other domains. Final outcome: after conducting the certification, you would have mastered the core concepts of blockchain technology that are commonly used across multiple industries to solve large scale problems. And this is how the certification looks like. And okay, I think I saw that somewhere else. The jobs that is associated with this. And before I move on, this website, Blockchain Council, has instructor led training for the blockchain certified blockchain expert. And for the other certificates we'll go through, which are certified blockchain architect and certified blockchain healthcare professional. Like I said in the description, in the definition of blockchain, one of the things that can be put on the blocks in the blockchain is healthcare information, um, your online degree, and have other resources that help you along the way in your certifications on this website, which is Blockchain Council. Let's get into the other certifications this website also offers. Again, I want to reiterate all these certifications. The links will be down in the description. This certification from the same website is Certified Blockchain Architect. Certified Blockchain Architect training and certification enables you to gain expert understanding and exposure of the blockchain domain. CBA training entitles you to utilize your expertise to make important decisions related to the blockchain project and craft the guidelines and structure of the whole blockchain system, considering the requirement of the system. As the demand for a certified blockchain architect is soaring, remember that the definition of of an architect is a blockchain architect is the designer of the blockchain solution. For a blockchain solution to be functional, it first needs to exist. The blockchain architect is the person or a group who designs the blockchain. So these are the people who are starting from the beginning. As the demand for a certified blockchain architect is soaring, this certification will prove to be your competitive advantage, giving enterprises confidence in the quick hire. Time duration is 6 hours. It's lifetime. It's self-paced. That self-paced means so much because you can go at it in the morning, put an hour and a half to it every day. You're not time constricted, and it's an online exam. I guess speculate this 199 price will increase in the future. Um, Certification benefits are gain an in-depth understanding of blockchain and its architecture, implement your skills in any blockchain applications, build your own blockchain enterprise with acquired knowledge, prove your blockchain skill and understanding. I think it's the same things over and over. So these are the career facts. The top job functions are software architect, software developer, blockchain expert, entrepreneurs, DevOps, and network engineers. And the domains are the same. What does a blockchain architect do? Works closely with product teams to design and build blockchain-based solutions for enterprises and business. Again, the name of this certification is Certified Blockchain Architect. The next certification from the same website is a hello.
Oh, so yeah, a blockchain architect. That's kind of interesting. Would a Java architect also be considered? That they could probably fit easily into a blockchain architect's role.
I
Well,
would go ahead.
architects, blockchain architects usually come from software developers. So
Okay,
you'd
so they
have
come
to,
from the developer side. So
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so you
for
have to
sure.
understand code in order to be a architect.
Absolutely, I am absolutely aware of that. And that's critical because most do come from that. Most architects are not like systems administrators and so forth. But yeah, but I guess so. You're saying Java would so if they came from the Java development end, that would be acceptable. Is that what you're saying, right?
That's a natural transitional role.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. All right, man. I'm
Hmm.
just here, just feeling the stuff out.
No
I have my
problem. No
reasons
problem.
for asking these questions, but
No
anyway, okay,
problem.
go ahead. All
That's
right.
what we're here for. That's what we're here. We're Manosphere
Uh,
3.0 compliant.
oh yes, we
Uh,
are. Oh yes, we are.
the the third certification we're going to go over from this website is Certified Blockchain Developer. And to go over with that definition again, a certified blockchain developer is the blockchain developer create smart contracts that run on the blockchain. Developers design and upload smart contracts to the blockchain to expand its capabilities. In addition to implementing the smart contracts, you may also have front end developers who implement applications that access the blockchain. The applications initiate the transactions on the blockchain. So, to read through this certification, a certified blockchain developer is a professional who understands blockchain technology, profoundly and can build blockchain-based applications for businesses. I think this okay. I'll read it. I think it's saying the same thing, but CBD is a software training and exam-based program aiming to impart in-depth practical knowledge in blockchain technology. As demand for a blockchain developer is soaring, this certification will prove to be your competitive advantage, giving enterprises confidence in the quick hire. Again, the price of this is 129. I suspect it won't be that low forever. Time is 8 hours. It's a lifetime access duration. Self-paced, which is great and is online. The certification benefits are somewhat the same. I'll read them. Build your own blockchain business with required knowledge. Learn Solidity language and multiple technology-based developments. Prove your blockchain skills and understanding. Grasp the in-depth understanding of blockchain, smart contracts, and how it works, just like the definition I read. And implement your skills to any blockchain project. And well, here, what does blockchain developers do? Okay, I'll read the job functions are back-end developer, front-end developer, database administrators, and others. What does a blockchain developer do? Blockchain developers specialize in creating and implementing technical solutions for organizations with a blockchain technology.
So the blockchain DBAs as well.
Repeat that one more time.
I guess. Hey, Mike, you there?
Sorry, go ahead.
Blockchain DBAs.
Where'd you get that from?
Just from what you just read.
Well, you're talking about the database administrators?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, the job function of what's this? The blockchain developer, back-end developer, front-end developer, database administrators.
And DBAs.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's the
So,
job
and
function.
a lot of the jobs.
It's a job function, not the actual role.
Not the actual role, so you wouldn't have a blockchain DBA. This is something that would just be a function of the role. Okay, all right. Reason why I'm asking a lot of questions because I'm getting a lot of tech stuff coming in, tech jobs. I'm not seeing anything on blockchain, but apparently this is really rising. So this is really coming up. So this is like great information here.
Mm-hmm.
This is great info.
Right. So we're gonna go to another reputable source is Blockchain Training Alliance. This certification is the Certified Blockchain Business Foundation. This website don't get as much meat in terms of what these certifications actually go in depth with, but the price of this, I picked this is because during my lessons on edX with the I'll go into on the Hyperledger part. They reference this site, so I'm going to reference the site also. The Certified Blockchain Business Foundations. This is $200. 70 questions. Pass score is 70%. Let's go down here. It is okay. Skill set. The person who holds this certification has demonstrated their understanding of the following: blockchain basics, why an organization should or should not use blockchain, how blockchain works, implementing blockchain in business, blockchain use cases. This is the exam process. The exam is 70 questions, multiple choice exam that lasts 1.5 hours, and is a multiple choice and true and false exam, testing blockchain skills and knowledge. Internet access is not provided. Okay, so it's multiple question, true or false. So, and these are the companies that they have certified. Here are a few of the many companies we have had the honor of certifying, which is Accenture, Dell, CJI, Air France, Fujitsu, IBM, which we heard a lot of, Cisco, Avanade, PricewaterhouseCoopers, which I read an article from them, Merck, Anthem, Union Bank. So like I said, this article is an article. Certification is multiple question, true or false, 70% passing score. This is something you can quickly get up under your belt right now. A lot of these certifications, I assume and predict will be more than a pair of Jordans in the future. This is still less than a pair of Jordans right now. And this is coming from Blockchain Training Alliance. Again, this will be in the description. Another certificate from the same website is the Certified Blockchain Solution Architect, which is $300. Now, this is more than a pair of Jordans. The Okay, here we go. Skill set. The person who holds this certification demonstrates their ability to architect blockchain solutions, work effectively with blockchain engineers and technical leaders, choose appropriate blockchain systems for various use cases, work effectively with both public and permission blockchain systems. This exam will prove that a student completely understands the difference between proof of work, proof of stake, and other proof systems and why they exist, why cryptocurrency is needed on certain types of blockchains, the difference between public, private, and permission blockchains, how blocks are written to the blockchain, where cryptography fits into blockchain and the most commonly used systems, common use cases for public blockchains, common common use cases for private and permission blockchains, what is needed to launch your own blockchain, common problems and considerations in working with public blockchains, awareness of the tech behind common blockchains, when is mining needed and when it is not, Byzantine fault tolerance. I think I'm gonna touch on that again because that can be confusing at the end. Just remind me, somebody at open mic. Consistency among blockchains, what is hashing, how addresses, public keys, and private keys work, what is a smart contract, security in blockchain, brief history of blockchain, the programming languages of the most common blockchain, which, Nagon, this sounds like a really right up, this solves a lot of questions what you were asking, and also common testing and deployment practices for blockchains and blockchain-based apps. Yeah, Nagon, this really seems like this will solve a lot of questions you were asking. All right. The next certification, I think he left, is from the same website, is Certified Blockchain Developer, Ethereum, and Ethereum. Ethereum is also a top cryptocurrency. So this one is $300. Where's it at? Oh, I skipped it. The skill set of this one is, I'll do an overview. The Certified Blockchain Developer Ethereum exam is an elite way to demonstrate your knowledge and skills in this emerging space. Additionally, you'll become a member of a community of blockchain leaders. With certification comes monthly industry updates via email and video. The CBDE exam is okay, I'm not going to read that one. I'm going over the audience and the skill set. So the audience is software engineers, programmers, developers, and application architects. A person who holds this certification demonstrates their ability to plan and prepare production-ready applications for the Ethereum blockchain, write, test, and deploy secure Solidity smart contracts, understand and work with Ethereum fees or gas, work within the bounds and limitations of the Ethereum blockchain, use the essential tools and systems needed to work with the Ethereum ecosystem. This exam will prove that a student completely understands how to implement Web3.js, write and compile Solidity smart contracts, create secure smart contracts, deploy smart contracts both the live and test Ethereum networks, calculate Ethereum gas costs, which is the fees, unit test unit test smart contracts, run an Ethereum node on development machines. And again, this is the certified blockchain developer Ethereum from the Blockchain Training Alliance. We have two more to go through. This is the BTA Certified Blockchain Developers Hyperledger Fabric. This will be going into the other side of the other blockchain is technology, which is the DLT, Distributed Ledger Technology. This one is $300. And the overview of this is the BCA Certified Blockchain Developer Hyperledger Fabric, or CBDH exam, is an elite way to demonstrate your knowledge and skills in this emerging space. Additionally, you'll become a member of a community of blockchain leaders with certification comes monthly industry. Okay, that's redundant. The audience is software engineers, programmers, developers, and application architects. A person who holds this certification demonstrates their ability to plan and prepare production-ready applications for the Hyperledger blockchain, write, test, and deploy secure chain code, understand how to use Hyperledger Composer to rapidly build Hyperledger applications, write chain code using Go or Node.js. This exam will provide that a student completely understands how to create a Hyperledger model, build proper access controls for blockchain, build proper access controls for blockchain via assets via .acl, implement a Hyperledger.bna banana, write and compile smart contracts as chain code, deploy smart contracts on channels in the private network. And the last certification on this specific website, again, this website is Blockchain Training Alliance. This last certification is Certified Blockchain Security Professional. This one is $300. I'll go over both the audience and the skill sets. The audience is blockchain architects, blockchain developers, application developers, blockchain system administrators, network security architects, cybersecurity experts, and IT professionals with cybersecurity experience. The skill set is this exam will prove that a student completely understands identifying and differentiating between security threats and attacks on a blockchain network. We recently spoke about how Binance was hacked to give you some type of context of what this can help with. Excuse me, blockchain security methods, best practices, and risk mitigation. All known to date cyber attack vectors on the blockchain, such as 51% attack, Goldfinger attack, things like that. How to performing blockchain network security risk analysis, a complete understanding of blockchain's inherent security features and risks, and an excellent knowledge of best security practices for a blockchain system, network administrators, demonstrate appropriate blockchain data safeguarding techniques. So those are the certifications concerning blockchain on the blockchain side of this new technology. I'm going to pause here to see if there are any questions in the chat. After that, I'm going to go into the distributed ledger certifications. Okay. Thank you all for tuning in again. Hope you all learning a lot. Uh, okay. So we're gonna look at the excuse me, the distributed ledger side of this technology. First, I'm going to start out with edX. I took this course also on edX. This is offered by the Linux Foundation. Blockchain technologies are changing industries. Professional certificate in blockchain technologies. The program overview is, before I do that, I'm going to go over its self-paced, expert instruction. Um, there's two courses in this certification, along with those two courses in the other blockchain for Berkeley certification. Also, it's 2 to 4 months. Again, I say the hour and a half every day in the morning is your best bet to finish this. The program is $178.20. Program overview is blockchain is a powerful distributed ledger technology that is poised to revolutionize the way entire industries do business, from supply chain tracking to real estate transaction processing and everything in between. We spoke about the real estate transactions and supply chain transactions. So hope that hit home. With that potential, there is a lot of hype to contend with. This program will teach business professionals what blockchain is, possible use cases, and applications to help them better understand blockchain landscape and how they might leverage this technology in their own industry. Skills in blockchain are being reported as the top job skill in demand. This program will provide a great first step in verifying candidates have fundamental understanding of blockchain technologies. Courses in this blockchain, Courses in this course from the Linux Foundation is the first part of it is blockchain, understanding its uses and implications. And the second part of this professional certificate is blockchain for business and introduction to hyperledger technologies. Again, like I mentioned before, once you finish this certification, you are then given a cryptographic signature that you can put on your LinkedIn profile. And once people click on your LinkedIn profile, on that cryptographic signature that's on your LinkedIn profile, then they will be linked to a edX site that they will see your certification for completing that course. So we'll go back to the Blockchain Council. This is a certified Hyperledger expert certification. It's $129, 5 hours. It's lifetime, self-paced, and online. A certified Hyperledger expert is a skilled professional who understands what is Hyperledger, how Hyperledger works, and also uses the same knowledge to build private permission blockchain-based applications for enterprises, businesses, and research projects. The CHE credentials certifies an individual in the Hyperledger discipline of distributed ledger technology from a vendor-neutral perspective. Certified Hyperledger expert is especially for people who want to begin learning about Hyperledger technology. This course will cover all the details regarding the architecture of Hyperledger Fabric and Composer. It will also help you to understand the Hyperledger family so you can begin building blockchain applications on top of Hyperledger platform. The It'll touch on the modules touched on. We'll come back to these modules, but it also touch on Hyperledger architecture, Hyperledger umbrella projects, which are Hyperledger Fabric. I'm just not going to say Hyperledger all the time. I'm going to say Hyperledger Fabric, Sawtooth, Iroha, Oro, Indie, Composer, Explorer, Cello, Caliper, and Quill. Um, the benefits of this is build your own private permission blockchain business with acquired knowledge, learn Hyperledger Fabric and Composer, prove your blockchain skills and understanding, grasp the in-depth understanding of Hyperledger umbrella projects, as the one I just mentioned, and how it works. Implement your skills to any blockchain projects. What you'll get is blockchain council certification, lifetime access to the course content, 24/7 support for all your queries, hands-on industry project experience. Top job functions are back-end developer, sales and marketing, founders and CEO, front-end developer, and sales. What does Hyperledger Expert do? Hyperledger Expert specializes in creating technical solutions for organizations with blockchain technology. Uh, Growth curve ahead is Hyperledger Expert, Architect, and Consultant. The same domains. Final outcome, after completing the certification, you will have mastered the core concepts of Hyperledger technology that are commonly used across multiple industries to solve large-scale problems. And this is how the certification looks like. I'm going to keep this note because I want to come back to this one because there's a lot more information that this website can offer. The next one is, excuse me, Hyperledger Certified Hyperledger Developer. This one is $129. Time duration is 7 hours. Lifetime access, self-paced and online. The Certified Hyperledger Developer training is excellently designed to carefully curated by experts to render a profound understanding of Hyperledger Fabric and Composer. Businesses can leverage the Hyperledger technology to enhance internal data integrity and progress toward a low-cost solution for their organization. Certified Hyperledger Developer training equips individuals with the essential knowledge and expertise to work a Hyperledger developer. The certification benefits are the same. The top job functions are application developer, software architect, and others. What does Hyperledger developers do? Hyperledger developers specialize in creating and implementing private permission solutions for organizations on top of blockchain technology. And this again is on Blockchain Council, the Hyperledger Certified Hyperledger Developer. Next, we'll get transition to the Linux Foundation. The Linux Foundation has two certifications under their belt. They have the first one is the Certified Hyperledger Fabric. The Certified Hyperledger Fabric Administrator, or CHFA, will be able to effectively build a secure Hyperledger Fabric network for commercial development, including the ability to install, configure, operate, manage, and troubleshoot the nodes on their network. This certification costs $300. Go through the overview. Hyperledger is an open source collaborative effort created to advance cross industry blockchain technologies. It is a global collaboration hosted by the Linux Foundation, including leaders in finance, banking, Internet of Things, supply chains, manufacturing, and technology. All of those sectors we spoke about earlier in the articles. Hyperledger offers a certification program that allows candidates to demonstrate their competence in deploying and operating a Hyperledger Fabric network through the command line. Domain competences. The purpose of the certified or the CHFA certification is to provide assurance that CHFAs can effectively build a secure Hyperledger Fabric network for commercial deployment. This CHFA exam curriculum includes these general domains and their weights on the exam: 20% application lifestyle management, 25% install and config network, 15% diagnostics and troubleshooting, 20% membership service provider, and 20% network maintenance and operations. The exam details are: this exam is an online, proctored, performance-based test that consists of a set of performance-based problems to be solved in a command line. Candidates have 2 hours to complete the task. The exam is based on Fabric version 1.3.0. So again, the exam delivers daily, duration 2 hours, certification is valid for 2 years. It's a PDF certificate. Imagine you can also put this on your LinkedIn profile. And this certification again is by on the Linux Foundation. It's a Certified Hyperledger Fabric Administrator, or a CHFA. Also from the Linux Foundation is the Certified Hyperledger Sawtooth Administrator, or the CHSA. This is also $300. The Certified Hyperledger Sawtooth Administrator, or CHSA, will be able to effectively build a secure Hyperledger Sawtooth network for commercial deployment, including the ability to install, configure, operate, manage, and troubleshoot the nodes on that network. Per the first information for the first um, certification, I'll start with the domains. The overview is the same. I'll say this: the Hyperledger offers a certification program that allows candidates to demonstrate their competence in deploying and operating a Hyperledger sawtooth network through the command line. Domains and competencies. The purpose of the CHSA certification is to provide assurance that CHSAs can effectively build a secure Hyperledger sawtooth network for commercial deployment. This CHSA exam curriculum includes these general domains and their weights on the exam: 10% install, 25% configuration, 20% permissioning, identity management, and security, 25% lifecycle, and 20% troubleshooting. The exam details: this exam is an online proctor, and the exam is based on Sawtooth version 1.0.5. Also on Hyperledger, it talks about the Hyperledger Greenhouse, business blockchain frameworks and tools hosted by Hyperledger. We talk about, I'm not going to say Hyperledger all through. I will say Hyperledger Burrow, Fabric, Grid, Indy, Iroha, Sawtooth, Caliper, Cello, Composer, Explorer, Quilt, and Ursa. Go back to this one. These are some of the um, umbrella projects that these Hyperledger certifications on the Blockchain Council go through in the modules in its certification. So Linux Foundation is leading the charge in terms of Hyperledger certifications. Again, this website, Blockchain Council, offers instructor-led training, which is live training, offers certifications in not only blockchain, but Hyperledger, Corda, Corn, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and cryptocurrencies. I kept, per the talk tonight, I kept it short to blockchain and distributed ledgers. Online degrees, online degree in blockchain, online degree in cryptocurrency and trading, and it has a plethora of resources you can go to get more information. I'm going to see if there's any comments in the chat on this. You have any comments on this, Mike?
No.
Okay, and we're in a stretch here. We're going to go into the jobs and the salaries. Then we're going to leave it to open mic. So we're going to look at the jobs for the developer, a blockchain developer. And after that, we're going to look at the jobs pertaining to um, architect. Share my screen. Okay. So we're going to start off in LinkedIn. Some of the jobs on LinkedIn that are searched for is blockchain developer with Backed. If you know what Backed is a institutional cryptocurrency custody for the international exchange, the same entity that owns the New York Stock Exchange. Also, we have from IBM, application developer and blockchain. We have also Strategism, blockchain consultant. Preferred resources, blockchain developer, a blockchain consultant for Crow. Selby Jennings, head of sales and blockchain. The website blockchain itself is user operations associate. We also have Amazon AWS looking for a blockchain architect. Facebook, if you don't know, Facebook is trying to release their own cryptocurrency. That's the project is called Project Libra. They're looking for a technology communications director for blockchain. Accenture is looking for a senior software engineer, emerging technologies. Betcha Corporations looking for a blockchain developer. Magic Leap is looking for a blockchain engineer. Cyber Coders is looking for a blockchain engineer urgent, and just regular blockchain engineers. Facebook again is looking for finance analysts for in blockchain. And you see a lot of companies, major companies, Ford Motor Company, also looking for a blockchain software engineer. So you see a lot of companies, major companies, that are looking for positions concerning blockchain. Also, we're going to go to BlockTribe. This is for Coinbase. Coinbase, yes, the Coinbase is looking for a senior backend engineer. Their job description, I'm going to read the first paragraph here. Our vision is to bring more innovation, efficiency, and equality of opportunity to the world by building an open financial system. Our first step in that journey is making digital currency accessible and approachable for everyone. Two principles guide our efforts. First, to be the most trusted company in our domain. Second, create user focused products that are easier and more delightful to use. Some of the responsibilities are build integrations with fiat banking partners in countries around the world to make cryptocurrency accessible to everyone. Design secure and design secure and highly reliable services to integrate with blockchains and add new cryptocurrency assets to blockchain. To Coinbase Pro, write infrastructure services to provide secure storage, accounting, and transactional services to help our customers trade assets safely. Work with engineers, product managers, and senior leadership to turn our vision to a tangible roadmap every quarter, add positive energy in every meeting, and make our coworkers feel included in every interaction. The requirements is you have at least 4 years of experience in software engineering. You've designed, built, scaled, and maintained production services and know how to compose a service-oriented architecture. You write high quality, well-tested code to meet the needs of your customers. You're passionate about building an open financial system that brings the world together. Now, Coinbase per the site is looking for, I believe, one more position. This position is a software engine, senior software engineer for their markets. And some of the requirements are have exceptional software engineering skills for their level of experience, collaborate with, learn from, and teach other members of the team, have a passion for building an open financial system and being at the epicenter of an entirely new area of finance and technology, have language polyglot sensibilities with an interest in new approaches, balanced by a strong sense of finding the right tool for the right job, strong skills with languages traditionally used in such architectures, particularly C++, Java, Python, JavaScript, etc., same languages we mentioned earlier, experience in one or more areas of trading, exchanges, or settlement and clearing, have a strong design sense for UIs and or pro- programmatic APIs. All members of this team will embody the core Coinbase values of clear communication, positive energy, continuous learning, and efficient execution, and will place a strong emphasis on diversity and inclusion. So, we're going to also go over to IBM is looking for a blockchain developer. IBM Blockchain Garage. This is from IBM is from the website Indeed. This is also from Indeed. JP Morgan Chase is looking for blockchain software engineer. As we read earlier, JP Morgan Chase is redoing their blockchain with Microsoft and Microsoft Azure in their system. So they are looking for a blockchain software engineer. Also from Indeed, JP Morgan Chase again is looking for a blockchain technical software engineer. Responsibilities for gathering requirements, providing analysis, alternatives, and recommendations. Collaborate with lines of business technology teams to design and build robust and performance blockchain based solutions. Peer to peer distributed system design and implementation. That sounds like some of um, the things put out from the other certifications we went over sound like the same wording. Research, strategize, and educate on methodology and best practices for blockchain design, implementation, and deployment. As you see, the wording they're putting is the same wording that I read over on the certifications. Sound very familiar. Collaborate with the team and open source community to build and implement a blockchain for Quorum. JP Morgan's private permission blockchain implementation. Help design, implement, and monitor one or more line of business applications. Some of the required skills is MS, preferably in computer science or related field. Must have strong object-oriented programming language background, preferably Go programming experience, Java and JavaScript. 5+ years of development, proven track record for delivering software development protocols. So these are some of the jobs that are being searched for blockchain. Also, we're going to go over to ZipRecruiter. We're going to see some of the average salary for blockchain developers. As of May, read this here. As of May 4th, 2019, the average annual pay for a blockchain developer in the United States is $133,411 a year. So as you can see, let me finish reading this. While ZipRecruiter is seeing annual salaries as high as $193,500 and as low as $50,500, the majority of blockchain developer salaries currently range between 102,000, 25th percentile, which is good, and 159,000, 75th percentile across the United States. The average pay range for a blockchain developer varies little, about 57,000, which suggests that regardless of location, there are not many opportunities for increased pay or advancement, even with several years of experience, because they're paying at the top already. Based on recent job postings on ZipRecruiter, the blockchain developer job market is in both Chicago, Illinois, and the surrounding area is very active. People working as a blockchain developer in your area are making on average $136,704 per year, or $3,293, 2% more than the national average annual salary of $133,000. Illinois ranks number 48 out of 50 states nationwide for blockchain developer salaries. So as you can see, you have these two notches right here. This is the 25 percentile, and this is the 75 percentile. Now, this next one is very interesting. What's the average blockchain developer salary by state? By state. So we see we're going to, I think it said Illinois is number 48 out of 50. We'll scroll down here. Yep, Illinois is number 48 out of 50. So the top states, you have New York, Massachusetts, Maryland, Nebraska, California, Vermont, Alaska, Nevada, Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, Hawaii, Washington, West Virginia, Connecticut, Virginia. New York, the annual salary is 142,000. Just going to read the top 5 to 10 here. New York is 142,000. Massachusetts is 141,000. Maryland is 133,000. Nebraska, and all of these are blockchain developer salary, and this is the annual salary. Nebraska is 131,000. California is 131,000. Vermont is 130,000. Alaska is 130,000. Nevada is 130. Montana 130, and North Dakota is 130. Contrast that by what I said with Illinois. Illinois, the average what the annual is $113,000, and those are the top blockchain developer salaries by state. Again, all of this information will be linked down in the description, so you can go over and read it yourself. Everything I went over will be linked down in the description. So I'm going to pause here to see if there's any other questions in the chat before I talk about the last few things on the docket tonight. Thank you, Rainy Woman. She says, we appreciate your commitment at the Black Brain Trust. You men are here with us on a Sunday night, a Saturday night, giving your time to share pertinent information with a sacrifice. All right, we appreciate your help and your you tuning in. So the last thing I will go over is the jobs in the architect part of a a blockchain. So let me share my screen. This will be the last thing for the night. Okay, so this one comes from Indeed. This is from Amazon Web Services, Blockchain Architect. Are you passionate about the intersection of cloud computing, blockchain, and distributed ledgers? Do you have the ability to put together unique cutting edge solutions that bring together various technologies for breakthrough business outcomes? Then I'm guessing that Amazon Web Services are for you. Computer science degree with 7+ years of experience working with blockchain frameworks such as Ethereum and Hyperledger, and projects. Again, we pointed to the certifications that you can get information and practice on that. Be certified in Ethereum and Hyperledger. Experience developing software solutions with deep experience in one or more relevant languages: Java, Node.js, or Go. Record of delivering high quality software solutions on time. See the record of delivering high quality software solutions on time, and the ability to travel to client locations to deliver professional services when needed. And this is in Chicago, Illinois. All of these jobs listings are in Chicago, Illinois, which is my area. The next one's coming from Indeed. This is from Deloitte, which is one of the top 3 or 4, I think it's the big 4 accounting firms in the country. This is finance operations and blockchain manager. This is more geared toward fintech. Um, so a few requirements on here, point some things out. Specific skills should include, but not limited to, understanding how changes in different industries impact finance organizations and experience structuring solutions to optimize the health plan finance functions. Preferred skills: ability to provide strategy, transformation, and technology fluency, experience delivering ops and technology to office of the CFO. Um, yeah, other this is from Python, but they are looking for a cloud solutions architect. This one was interesting to me. This is from XR Trading LLC. They are actually looking for a cryptocurrency trader. Again, from I think what it was the Blockchain Alliance, a few other current certifications was pertaining to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So this goes to show that people are looking for people dealing in blockchain and cryptocurrency. Like I stated before multiple times, that when you hear blockchain, you are going to hear Bitcoin also, because blockchain was specifically made for Bitcoin, but it has other functions as well. To read this one: rapidly growing proprietary trading firm with 4 offices in Chicago, London, and New York City, seeking experienced cryptocurrency traders. You'll be charged with assisting a new team with learning the landscape of Bitcoin and other digital currencies. You can get certified in that because what we covered earlier in the certifications. Unlike a lot of other firms, our traders work closely with our dedicated technology team in developing and enhancing existing strategies. This position will be located in the Chicago office. All right, and I'm going to go to this one. This is just a Google search. You see where Amazon is looking for a blockchain architect, a few job positions in Chicago for a blockchain architect. JP Morgan Chase is looking for a blockchain technical software engineer. You also have JP Morgan Chase looking for a blockchain software engineer. Job Springs Partners looking for a full stack blockchain engineer. And a few other companies that you've heard of that are looking for positions pertaining to blockchain and blockchain technology and hyperledger fabric. We also just spoke about Deloitte, and they're looking for finance operations and blockchain management that has to do with fintech. So what we're going to do is go to and look at some um, salaries for a blockchain I think it was engineer, architect, software architect salaries in the United States. Salary estimate salary estimated from 13,411 employees, users in past and present job advertisements on Indeed in the past 36 months. So the average salary is $141,948 per year. And that is right in the middle. So you have more of a skew toward the high end and less of a tail skew toward the low end, beginning at 54,000 and ending topping out. And this is a blockchain architect. Topping out the most is $271,000. How much does a software architect make in the United States? The average salary for a software architect is 141,000 per year in the United States. Salary estimates are based on 13,000 estimates. The typical tenure for a software architect is 1 to 3 years, and you see some jobs. Intel, 149,000 a year. Oracle, 151,000. GE, 138,000. Wipro, 151,000. Microsoft, 149,000. Cisco again, 140, and so on and so on and so on. City, 128,000. So those are some salaries that software developers, and in this case, blockchain developers, are making in America. So that is the end of my presentation regarding black blockchain talk. I hope you all enjoyed. This is open mic time. Mike, do you have any comments?
No, no comments from me.
All right. Look in the chat to see if I see anybody. Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. With that said, that's it.